Here's how we divide a difficult, compact dahlia tuber clump. First thing I'm going to do is just cut all of these roots off to get them out of my way and make dividing easier. So the key here is all you're going to do is try to break it down to reveal more and more eyes. So you just want to start with finding the easiest tuber to pull off that has a good eye. So here's what we're looking for right here. These raised areas are the eyes. You need an eye for the tuber to grow. So you can see there's a good one here. Others aren't as obvious. Like this is also a good eye, but it's not yet raised. Here's another big one down here. This is a good example of an eye. And as we divide, we'll be exposing more and more eyes as we go. So first, I'm just going to find the easiest tuber to cut off to get out of my way. There's a really good eye right here. I have room to get my snips in, and it has a good tuber attached to it. So I'm just going to go in here and snip that one off. And there's one. So I'm just going to keep looking around for anything easy to cut that has a good eye. Here's a good eye here. Actually, two good eyes here. And it looks like when I cut this, I'll probably get two tubers to come off. So I'm just going to snip these two off. And then these have a little flex to them. Just be careful because you will break the neck if you pull too hard. But I'm going to try to get these two out like that. I could possibly try to cut between these two eyes to get two tubers out of this. But since they're so close together, I'm just going to pick the bigger of the two and snip the smaller one off. Now I'm just still going around, not really seeing anything else easy. So now it's just the name of the game. You have to get rid of some of these to expose more eyes. So this one right here, I don't like how the neck is thin and compact in there, so I'll just cut it out of my way. And then we have an eye there, so I'll try to attach it to this tuber. And now that I remove the other tuber, I can get my snips in here good. So this clump just popped right off. So now this here, this is the mother tuber. This is the tuber you planted originally. This tuber already used all of its energy, so unless it's a really rare variety, we don't keep these. So I'm going to cut off close to the mother tuber because I know there's probably more eyes in here. Just like that. So now get rid of the mother tuber. And now, like I said, you can see that revealed more eyes here. So I'm going to try to grab this bigger tuber first because it has a good eye. So I'll just cut there, trim some of this excess off. There's another good tuber. Now down to this little clump. I ruined this while I was cutting. Not a big deal, it happens. Now here's another nice eye here. And here's a good neck and tuber here. This one, the neck seems weaker, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And here's another good tuber. Now as you can see, the more you remove, you'll just expose more and more eyes, and it just keeps getting easier and easier as the clump gets smaller. So now I revealed these two big eyes here, and I can fit my snips into cut. So I'll just go in here, snip that off, cut this one on accident, but it happens. It's not a big deal. And I got this nice tuber with two eyes on it. So now here's one that kind of ruined the neck when cutting, so I'll just get rid of it. This one, I'm not seeing any good eyes on it, so I'm just gonna get it out of my way. Another thing to look for is broken necks. So you can see this one has a bad neck, so I'm just gonna cut it off and get rid of it. And now you can see what I was saying about you expose more and more eyes as you start breaking the clump down. So I'm just gonna cut this one with the broken neck out of the way. This one has another flimsy neck, so I'll cut that out of my way. And now here we have this nice big tuber with good eyes right here, and you can see that I have a good path right here to cut right through. So I'm trying to preserve these eyes, so I'm going to cut kind of behind those, and easy as that. So it looks like I can save this little tuber too because there's a good eye here. So we have eyes here and here, so I'm going to cut between those, and now I was able to get two good tubers out of that. So now here's a tuber with a tiny neck. Those don't generally store well, so I'm just going to get out of my way. So I'm not seeing any super obvious eyes on this side. So I'll flip it over, check this side. And here we have really good eyes. This particular tuber doesn't look like it has anything good attached to it for eyes. So I'm just going to cut it off, get rid of that one. And now this one's kind of in the way to getting to these. So I'm just going to sacrifice it and get rid of it. So as you can see, you just got to sacrifice some with poor necks and just prioritize the bigger tubers with better necks. So now that that's out of the way, all these good eyes are exposed. So this neck here, you could try to save it, but since this isn't a particularly rare variety, I'm just going to snip it off so it makes it easier to get to this big tuber. This one's going to be kind of tricky to cut, and it's also connected to this other big tuber, which I'd like to save. You just got to go for it and cut as far back as you can so you save the crown and the eye, and then just go from there. So I'm just going to cut back near the stem, and now those are free but you see they're still tangled up in these. But it looks like I can get my snips in here, and then I'll be able to save this eye to this tuber, and then this eye to this tuber. So I'm going to go between, cut these. That loosened up this one. This one looks like it's still stuck because it's tangled in these, but that's fine. I'm just going to leave it until I can cut these and release it. So now I'm getting to the end here, and I'm not seeing a lot more eyes, which is just what's going to happen towards the end. This is obviously the best tuber left, so I'm just going to start cutting these smaller ones out of the way until it's released, and I might see more eyes. Here's another with a thin neck. And now that lets me get to this bigger tuber again. And you can see it's got a nice eye there. This one broke in the process, so I'll just get rid of that. Now I'm going to give this a quick spray of water, just because there's some dirt. Maybe there's some more eyes hiding under there. Now we're getting towards the end, and I'm not really seeing any more good eyes. So the rest of this is just going to be waste, but that's just part of growing dahlias. You're not going to be able to get every tuber with a good eye. So from that tuber clump, here's the waste I ended up with, and then here's the tubers that I was able to salvage for next year.